there! You're listening to the Outsourcing Hub podcast, the pod that brings you anything and everything about building great teams in outsourcing. And we promise to share infinite opportunities, news, updates, and trends in the industry. Hosted by the Vice President of Sales and Marketing at Infinit-O, Mike Gunion.
Hello, everyone. Now, once again, this is Mike Gunion, and I'm happy to be hosting this podcast with some of our key people in Infinit-O. It's been a little bit of time between podcasts, but I'm glad we're back on track because this is a very important topic to continue the introduction of our technology-driven solutions, which is a very important and hot topic in the world today, not just at Infinit-O. So in this podcast episode, we'll be talking about the continuous evolution of Infinit-O to incorporate technology into our value proposition to include such elements as automation and business intelligence in fast-growing clients such as yours that are in the tech space, financial services, and healthcare. To help me with the discussion today will be Flo Lenoir, who heads up our people operations and transformation organization. Alan Cruz, who's our product manager, specifically heading up the technology-driven solutions component, and Kelsey Snyder, our strategic account manager, who I'm sure many of you are familiar with. So let's get started. Digital transformation, digitization, and all the buzzwords are very trendy right now. But what's really in it for the company to invest in automation and BI, as we call it, business intelligence? Today, we'll dig a bit deeper as to why these are worth investing in potentially, and their role in scaling companies effectively and efficiently. So let's start with a little bit of what is technology-driven solutions? What are they? So I'll lead that off with Flo. Maybe you could open things up by describing Infinit-O's digital transformation journey and how that has prepared the company to share the value and practical benefits of automation and BI.
Thank you, Mike. And it's great to be back here today. I'm so excited to be with you all discussing this great topic about how technology is reshaping the world that we know of. So if we go back to Infinit-O and where everything started for us, I think it really started with a clear observation that that all companies would actually need at some point technology. I think not all company becomes tech organizations, but the reality is with a world that is rapidly changing, that is facing a lot of uncertainty, with a lot of the tasks that we do done manually, tasks that would be time-consuming and repetitive. I think there's a real question on how do we get to do more with less. And so I think that observation led us to start implementing technology internally to be able to be more efficient and more productive. And then we had an observation also that while we are a growing organization, the partners that we work with are also growing as quickly as we are. And as a result, we could find opportunities to expand what we were doing for organizations that we work with. And so as a result, it became natural for us to extend that as a service for our partners. So again, the observation was very simple. Technology is inevitable. We had to get expert at it. And we became expert at it by implementing our own automation, our own business intelligence, and having that ability to then expand that service to our clients.
Thank you, Flo. Appreciate that background. And just to sort of support that, I would comment that it's not something that we just started yesterday or last year, but this has been an ongoing evolution over time. And we've had that experience to help us build up the expertise and the team as well, to build up the expertise across the team. So thank you, Flo. Appreciate that. Maybe over to you, Alan, as a new member of the transformation team and product manager for our technology-driven solutions. Would you mind tell us what you see as the value and demand in the marketplace for automation and BI, and why is that demand growing and why is it high? What are you seeing?
Okay, thank you, Mike. I'm excited to be part of the team. Coming from a background of technology and services, a company, I know for a fact that technology plays a vital role in basically improving the processes, the efficiency, the quality of services of organization, while also uh, optimizing the cost of the operation. So there are various market studies that indicate double-digit growth, especially in automation. It has been amplified by the pandemic because people wanted to do more, as Flo was saying, to do more with less. So there are various reports that says the it's going to grow by double digit until 2030. So the expectation was last year it's hitting around $2 billion industry, the automation itself, and expected to grow to over 20 billion by 2030. So the key driver for that growth is the automation technology's ability to improve process quality, speed, and productivity. These are essential as organizations try to manage their operational costs and ensure delivery of world-class services. From the analytics and business intelligence side, it's expected also to grow in double digit year on year. By end of this year, we're expecting to hit around 30 billion revenue. Okay, and then again, it will continue to grow as we move on. It is noteworthy to mention and to highlight how we position ourselves in the market. Our approach is to provide a result-based solution. So in our case, what we are offering is TDS. It's technology-driven solution, not technology-only solution. So it's quite different from others in the marketplace. So we combine people, process, and technology to deliver value-driven results. So this is different from the technology-only solutions that we're seeing in the market and that is being offered by other organizations. So organizations need to hire people to analyze, implement, and maintain the systems, right? This is basically what others are doing. So our approach is looking at our customers' challenges 360 degrees. Okay, we basically do the audit and then we offer a value and result-based solution. So this means not only we provide the technology, but we also provide our expertise to do a deep dive into the processes and then evaluate, prioritize the processes, and then do recommendation on what should be prioritized when it comes to digital transformation. So we do recommendation. We just don't give technology. We give our expertise, as Flo was mentioning. We have done many automation and business transformation internally, and we have developed that expertise in providing those kind of inputs to our clients. So it's not just technology, it's technology-driven solutions around people, process, and technology. So this is basically what we want to highlight in terms of our offering in the market.
Thank you, Alan. That was really well said. And one thing to note is that Infinit-O is not at all deviating from our core business, our core services, where we have had added great value to clients over the years, but we're just evolving to add more value through this process and this evolution. Kelsey, what do you observe are some of the challenges of expanding companies, and how does it possibly relate to our technology solutions? You've been working closely with many of our top clients. Do you see many of your accounts looking at digital transformation in their journeys?
Awesome. Yeah. Thanks, Mike. Yeah, definitely. A lot of the challenges that I see that the clients are looking at are, mundane things like they are using spreadsheets and they're trying to manually pull data into the spreadsheet, and they're frustrated. It takes time. It's repetitive. Another thing is they have siloed data, and they have limited visibility into their data and into what could be actionable intelligence in there. I had one client tell me that they were not getting, I call it a seat at the table. That's not what he said, but it was, their IT department is very busy with even some of their own automation and BI projects, but they weren't able to get their projects to the forefront of that and get them done. And then the other thing I see that's kind of interesting is that a lot of the clients don't even know what's possible. So they don't know what they don't know. So they don't know like what is possible with BI and, getting data out and organizing it in a way that they can, pivot on a daily basis and make some good decisions. And then the value I think that we bring is based on things like we can speed up if they have an initiative already, we can speed that up and bring in the timeline. I had one client that lost their reporting capability because their IT department wanted everyone to standardize on one platform. And so the reporting capability that they had before, they lost. And that was frustrating to them. And then obviously the bringing in the timeline and in a blended cost model with decreasing the cost across the project is of a lot of interest and value to our clients. So that's what I see.
Thanks, Kelsey. Yeah, I also have experienced different levels of understanding at different levels within a client's business. For example, almost every CEO is now engaged in some sort or another of automation, for example, and see it on the horizon, if not near term, long term. And whereas others might be just operationally focused on what they're doing. So it's great to connect at all levels, but it's certainly those situations you mentioned, I heard the same. Thanks, Kelsey. Let's talk a little bit about some of the benefits of automation, kind of digging in a little deeper on what Kelsey was talking about. The benefits of automation in business intelligence, manual versus automated, people versus technology. Flo and Alan, there are a lot of big players out there doing automation currently, for example. How are we different? Flo, maybe to you.
Thanks, Mike. I think it goes back to what you all were just mentioning. And it's interesting to see that it's not just about technology. And I think that's a key differentiator for us. Technology is a key component of what we offer today, but we remain true to our expertise. We've been around in the market for 17 years. We know how to build teams. We know how to build high-performing teams. And the difference is that now we get to add that extra layer of technology on top of it. And so it's no longer just people, but it's people and technology. I think that allows us to understand the needs of our clients and help them move along that digital transformation that Alan was referring to. It's important to notice that, as Kelsey was mentioning, and as you were saying, Mike, that on a daily basis, we would see that operations remains very focused on developing the teams, making sure that the KPIs are met. But as soon as you start looking and engaging at CEO level, the executive team is very much concerned about digital transformation, about understanding how we can assist in the next 3 to 5 years, not just about assisting today. And I think we've built that vision for our client, and it makes us also very different. We've been able to do it ourselves, but we also are able to bring, again, people and technology for our partners so that we allow them to automate even the most simplest task. So it's not just about offering a technology platform that a partner would have to understand and implement within their own system, but it's more that we accompany them by also having a team internally that can do it for them, but also making sure that they build that expertise within the teams that they have with us. So I think in many aspects, again, what makes us different, that it's not just purely a software that we install, but it's more walking the distance and walking the path of digital transformation with them. And while still, again, remaining true to what made us who we are in the market, and ensuring that we can keep delivering for our clients and partners, not just technology, but again, people and technology. So You want to add perhaps anything else to this from your perspective?
Yeah, I mean, if I may add, no, pricing is another big difference, definitely. So our pricing is simple, transparent, and designed to reflect the value gained by our clients. So both financially as well, the speed, quality, and dependability. You know, it's all, again noteworthy to mention that we've been providing services to our clients, to our partners. We know their processes, we know how they work, so we have developed those expertise to guide them in their digital transformation. So in other big players in the markets, their pricing and business model is quite complicated, so many, let's say, charges here and there, and when you sum it up, you know, it's really very expensive. So we are very transparent with our partners. This is a price that they will pay, no more, no less. And we move quickly because, again, we have expertise on what we do right now, since we've been doing it for the last 17 years when it comes to providing services. So we're just adding technology into it.
Thanks, Alan and Flo. What's resonating, I think, for me is that it's a complementary process to what we're already doing. And it's quite collaborative, right? We're not just saying, hey, here's something that another thing to buy. This is actually a complementary component of the services we're already offering. And in the long run, the idea of doing more with less, this helps that to become a reality. So perhaps instead of adding more and more members to the teams on a one-for-one basis based on growth, perhaps automation will be able to help the client not have to add quite as many headcount, but will be able to do things in a complementary way with automation to their current teams. So I love the idea of the collaboration and the complementary nature of this. Kelsey, what types of problems are top of mind with our clients right now, potentially mitigated with tech, either automation or BI?
Well, I'm seeing a lot of interest in things like productivity dashboards. One client was interested in looking at the cost versus the billable hours of their internal employees. So data and time reporting, invoicing. And then another thing that we found interest in is basically client profitability. So I had a client talking to me about the time that they spend supporting their clients versus how profitable they are for them. So that was interesting. And then somebody else was looking at assigning resources internally based on, what their client, either their profitability or what their client, what they wanted or needed the most. So different ways of looking at that. And that's all we can do that by pulling in data from multiple data sources and creating a data lake, pulling the data and then rendering it to a dashboard. And then on the automation side, things, so mundane as web scraping and cutting and pasting. I mentioned before, putting stuff in a spreadsheet. So these are all things that, clients are looking to automate. And, processes like vendor payments. So I had a client that's growing very quickly and growth by acquisition. And every time they acquire a company, they have a lot of data sources and they have more vendors to pay. So that was a really good ROI for that. Also bank reconciliation and report generation, as I mentioned before. So a lot of interest, a lot of different ways of looking at data and bringing in the ROI, but they all relate back to BI and automation for sure.
Thank you, Kelsey. Alan, anything to add?
I think, yeah, Kelsey have shared very good use cases for automation, no? Right? But I think it's worth mentioning that while all processes are candidates for automation, but not all of them should be automated, right? So our role is actually not just to sell technology and our TDS, right? We don't do that. What we do is actually, our approach is quite unique. We consider our clients our partners. So we make sure that whatever we sell to them, the project that we will go with them, they'll be able to get results and benefits out of it. So our approach is to conduct deep dive into our clients' processes, evaluate and analyze, then recommend to our clients what processes we should automate, and then we should also prioritize given the limited time and resources that we have. So automation is best suited for rule-based repetitive vendor, as what Kelsey was mentioning, such as data entries, accounts payable, receivables, reconciliation, even employee onboarding, vendor onboarding, addressing customer inquiries, vendor inquiries, and even gathering market intelligence, wherein you have to visit several websites, web scraping, as you said. In fact, we have this opportunity that they want to have a market report, and the data is coming from different sources. So that's something we can automate and also publish in the business intelligence dashboard, right? So practically, the automation is applicable to various industries, especially in the healthcare, financial services, and those in technology-driven industries.
Thanks, Ellen. It because of the wide beachfront, so to speak, of processes that could be automated within different industries, our process is a very consultative one, isn't it? When we're talking to clients in terms of that deep dive, maybe Flo, you could add a bit of color to that on how that's worked.
Absolutely. I think it goes back to adding value, isn't it? I think it's really about finding ways that we help our partners by creating value for them. Again, historically speaking, we've done it by having the right team with the right level of expertise and being really a full part of the processes of our partners. Where it gets interesting when it comes to automation and business intelligence is that we do get to create that value and add that value on top of everything that we've been doing so far. And what I think is important to analyze is that we've noticed that we could add value with the teams that we have for our partners. And so we, as you were mentioning, we help them understand their processes. We actually help them map their processes. We re-engineer their processes. And we identify for them areas of growth and opportunities of increased productivity, as Kelsey was mentioning. But it goes beyond this, and we have also clients that would invite us to review the end-to-end processes of which we are part of, to then understand how we can help them create more value. They have their own list of automation. They have their own list of ideas, but often they do not necessarily have the internal capabilities to really act on it. And that's where also we, again, go back to adding value, and we offer a venue for them to actually, I would say, even outsource those automation ideas that they've observed and that they found, and for which they're not really able to dedicate any resources. So that's where also we come in, and again, we help support their growth by having a service that resonates with their needs. So I think it becomes really critical. And then just on the BI side, on the business intelligence side, the value that we get to create there, which resonates with what Kelsey was saying, is that data would be historically siloed. They would be coming from multiple systems, and we all have 10, 20, 30 systems that we use internally with data sitting everywhere. But how do we get to aggregate all of that information? How do we get to find value and insights within all of those data points that are sitting in the organization? That's where we come in. We help kind of synchronize all of that information, aggregate all of that information, and find insights that helps our partners make better and faster decisions that are critical for their business. So it's the beauty of what we've been able to work on first, again, internally for us, but also quickly for our partners.
Thank you, Flo. And it all boils down to that, doesn't it? Value for our clients, our partners, and to deepen the relationship at times by really doing deep dive into those processes and having that mutual trust in terms of collaboratively re-engineering process. and then potentially integrating with technology. Seems that most businesses are on a digital transformation journey, just at perhaps different points in that journey. Kelsey, how do you think this, this journey, if you will, this digital transformation and think automation and BI will impact our clients, our partners, sort of near term and long term? Do you see it the same way, that they're already on that journey?
Yeah, definitely. I think some are on that journey, as Flo said, different points on their journey. The value that I see that we bring, I guess I think of a few things. One is, the first thing is, we have the specific insight already into their processes, into their systems. We span multiple vertical industries. We have spanned multiple departments within a client. So we are uniquely qualified to be experts on their processes and systems. And we've been doing this since, I think, 2005. So we have a lot of experience with that, and that is valuable to our clients. So the second thing is, the clients can reap the value that we have of having a huge talent pool and expertise in digital transformation, in data science and analytics. So in addition to just looking at the people side, from that perspective, we have the expertise in the digital transformation. So we give that to our clients in a blended cost model. So that blended by meaning onshore versus offshore. So it's blended. So that's valuable. And then the last thing I wanted to mention is kind of more on the people side, but I think it's worth mentioning, in that we build custom teams and custom technology. So the advantage that gives our clients over their competitors is huge. Like, even just on the people side, we're just not throwing random people over onto their projects. These people are, team members, and, like for devs, they're collaborative. They, participate in stand-ups. They do pair programming. They do code reviews, sprints. They manage backlog, all the things that their normal team members do. So the value of having team members that are already, involved in their processes and knowledgeable in their the way the data systems work, I think the value is clear for that. So,
Thanks, Kelsey. Well, maybe would you like to give an example of a recent project, and maybe to illustrate things?
Sure, absolutely. So if we go back to, again, the beginning of automation, as Alan mentioned, it was really around tasks that would be repetitive, that would be time consuming, that would be manually done, hence, prone to errors. And a key element also is that ability to be rule-based. So we saw, on the automation side, we saw value recently with a client in facilitating the exercise that a financial team was doing in managing billing and invoices. And we managed to, by implementing a small piece of technology around PDF, especially PDF splitting, PDF reading, extraction of information, we could see how we could reduce the time that a team member was spending on doing that process by 50%. So that means that now, as they are planning on doubling the volume, we won't need to double the size of the team, but instead we'll be able to apply, again, people and technology to then grow the team half of what they were expecting, and at the same time keep processing the entire level of billing and invoices that they have. So back to our notion of doing more with less. Now, we also saw value in more perhaps on the business intelligence side, with teams that would be within the call center sector, or even the sales and telemarketing sector, where again a lot of information is being processed because calls are being made, because these are that would be also customer service centric. And so we managed to build dashboard that help the team understand how to do workforce planning, how to anticipate, let's say, the peak hours within the day, so that the team can be, the schedules of the teams can be adjusted accordingly. So again, if you operate in the dark, you always need to have as many people as possible to cover whatever amount of calls you're receiving. But if you know the seasonality of those calls, then you can really start helping partners schedule and right size the team, so that every resource gets optimized and maximized. And it's also better for the team members, because now they also understand why it's important for them to be present on the call. So it really serves every stakeholders in that process, from our team members to our partners. And again, we see a huge value in being able to connect with the systems that our clients will be using. So for example, if they use Salesforce, if they use Zendesk, if they use, regardless of the system that they use, we actually get to connect to the systems with their consent and leverage on the data that the team is producing, so that again we can make sure that we improve the KPIs that we have, we improve the performance of the team, and we improve the service and the value that we deliver to our partners. And finally, we get also to do that in a more real-time basis. If you get to connect through API with the systems that we work with and that the clients will be working with, we can have flags built, and that's what we've done recently. We've managed to integrate notifications and automate notifications and other pieces of communication, so that if ever we see that, for example, the level of inquiry that a client would receive decreases compared to what should be the normal, it could indicate that something is wrong with their websites. And so by having that notification system on, by having the ability to trigger those communication, we also get to advise that something may not be working as it should be. And that's also where we saw value recently, by being able to identify and analyze that something was actually done on the partner's end, and we were able to flag that for them, rather than them discovering it at the end of the month, because then they do review of KPI and they're like, what happened at on the 15th of the month? And we're like, actually this time we can proactively raise flags and we can proactively engage with our partners. And that's what we've done recently. So we see many areas, again, in every function. We see that there are potential candidates for automation. In every function, we see that there's value that can be brought by leveraging on more data, and again, aggregating and creating those areas of correlation and leverage on the data that's being produced by the team. And so we have an interesting lineup of use cases, and I'm sure that Alan can share with our listeners all the different use cases that we got to build and put into shape. So we have material that we'll be more than happy to share as well.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Flo. I think those use cases are, very relevant, and we'll be sharing those as part of our follow-up process to this. Sort of a bit of a recap then. So as mentioned, Infinit-O's been in the industry now for 17 years. In fact, we just celebrated our 17th anniversary last week. And the primary reason we are here and still here is because of the value that we bring to our clients, as mentioned multiple times today, whether that's people, process, or technology. And our goal continues to be to provide strategic advantage to every client. And this is just a furtherance of that, of reaching that goal, allowing our partners to see that that's something that can be attained with our collaboration. So Flo, Alan, or Kelsey, anything else you'd like to add? If not, then I would just say that I'll hand it over to Kelsey, and maybe let us know, Kelsey, how would you recommend one of our clients make contact to discuss further?
Oh, well, I guess they could email me directly. My email address is kelsey.snyder, KELSEY.SNYDER @infinite-o.com. Or we have a general email, which is sales@infinite-o.com. And that's probably the best way.
Mm-hmm. And I think on the screen, we'll post the numbers and contact info as well. Thanks, Kelsey. Appreciate that. And one other element is that we will be reaching out to every client directly so that we make sure that any questions you might have are asked and answered, and we can have further discussion as we go about these next several months and into the new year. So I'll just say then thank you very much to Flo, Alan, and Kelsey for joining us here today. And thank you all for tuning into this episode. Much appreciated. To get to know us better, hit the website, infinite-o.com. And if you have any questions, of course, you can always email us at info@infinite-o.com. So until next time, thank you again for joining us.
Thanks, Mike.
Thank you, Mike. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks.
Thank you all.
And that has been the Outsourcing Hub podcast, building great teams with Mike Gunnion. Thank you for tuning in. And always remember, start small, exceed expectations, think infinitely, think Infinit-O.